All right, man. Welcome back. Podcast episode 24, I think it is, man. It's we're almost a quarter of the way to 100, which is freaking awesome. But have with me Mertz Collectibles. I think this is the first one I've done where I've met the person before having them on the podcast, which is pretty cool. So I was able to meet you in Denver Collecticon for the first time. It was really cool. Got to know you a little bit there. Really looking forward to jumping into more of you now tonight. So all these people, when this is uploaded, I think it'll be uploaded when you're seeing this. It'll be Friday, so other people can get to know you, understand what you're doing, your YouTube, and all of that. Because God knows you're going to be uploading daily content. I
Yeah,
hope no.
daily.
That's a hell of a commitment, but
Yeah.
we'll get it out of you. But if you could, Mertz, please introduce yourself. Let the people know what's going on with you.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for inviting me onto your podcast. I really appreciate that. Super excited to get to talk to you, and I really appreciate it. So my name is Mertz, and I guess I'm a PokeTuber now. Like wasn't about a week and a half ago, but I guess I'm living the PokeTuber life. But I just launched my channel, released my first video last Saturday. And it's really been like a whirlwind for me ever since I went to Denver Collecticon. So just to give you some perspective, like 10 days ago or whenever before Collecticon was, that Thursday before we all flew out on Friday, like I was sitting at the kitchen table with my fiance going, am I about to fly to Denver and not know anybody and just be hanging out in the hotel by myself, or eating dinner at a bar by myself because nobody wants to hang out with me? I had no
Yeah.
idea. I was involved in Discords, mainly the Pokenomics Discord. And so I had a connection, and I was chatting back and forth. I knew people were going. I knew who they were. They
Yeah.
knew me through like chat rooms, but I had never met anybody in person or really put myself out there. So as of whatever it is, 10, 12 days ago, had no idea if anybody would accept me. And fast forward to now, I'm on your podcast, somebody I've watched for a long time. I've got a YouTube, uploaded a video. I just would have never guessed. It's been an incredible, like surreal experience to get to this point, and it's been awesome. So I've had a ton of fun doing it. I've been involved in the hobby back in the hobby for a couple of years now, and it's really kind of culminated into really getting into YouTube and back into it. So that's the short of it. Brand new into the YouTube space, but have been a lurker for a while.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. So how long you been like looking at the age of the YouTube and the Instagram and stuff like that? Instagram, I think your oldest post was like 24 weeks ago. YouTube was looking at your about page. It said it came out in April.
Yep.
So how long have you been watching some of this content and stuff like that? How long have you
Yeah.
been in it?
Yeah, so the YouTube channel says it was created in April because that's like the premium, the new one. I've been watching YouTube videos for a lot longer than that, but I got back into the hobby in February of 2021 now. So
Yeah.
that I was just relaxing during the depths of COVID, and went down a YouTube rabbit hole. I think it started with a Leonhardt pack opening. I think he was just cracking open some maybe Jungle or First Edition or Unlimited, and I was just sucked in. It just drew me in. It just like it ignited something in me, like almost like a nostalgic. I've used the word like fire, just like I can't
Yeah.
even explain it, but it just ever since that moment, I have just been full bore, deeply engaged. In it since then. Just went down that rabbit hole. Leonhardt, PokeRev, and then as a lot of us do when we get back in, graduate to like the SM Pratts, the Jake from Pokenomics, getting into the more of the market recaps, and really just diving deep into the market, and just getting obsessively consuming every single bit of
Yeah.
Pokemon content that I could ever since that time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was trying to think the other day. I was like, man, I really wish I knew how my rabbit hole dive went, because it was sound really similar to yours. Like, of course, everyone's going to see the Leonhardt stuff first, or PokeRev now because he's bigger. But yeah, it would be interesting to see my first, like, to have like a third person view of what I was doing and how I kind of made my way to who I was watching now, it'd be pretty interesting to watch. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah. I remember where I was. I was in my last apartment on the couch on my back. I like remember it vividly. I know it was a jungle pack, and I just it's just like burned into my memory. It just flipped a switch. It's really hard to explain, but I'm so glad I clicked on whatever I clicked on, or I can't remember where I saw the link, but I'm really happy I did because I'm so happy to
Yeah.
be here. Just had a
Hell yeah,
ton of
man.
fun along the way.
Definitely. So where'd the name Mertz come from? Is it
Uh,
part of your name or?
yeah. I don't really want to dox myself, but
Yeah,
I think
you're
I
good.
think I already have. I
You
think you
know,
could figure it out, but yeah, so pretty easy, solution there for a name, but
yeah,
I'm not really. It's my last name. I won't beat around like my last name's Mertz Collectibles, and we
yeah.
went from there. Yeah,
Similar to mine. The Green Shiz, last name's Green. Kind of
yeah,
just wrap it all on. Peak That Shoes a little bit more unique
yeah.
with his name.
With the
I
with
don't
the
know if you
Nigel
remember.
Thornberry, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've been Mertz. I've just kind of kept it consistent ever since I joined E4 back
yeah,
after diving into SM Pratt. Just had the same name all along, so I kind of like having that consistent name in every single platform I'm on. So people recognize me like, hey,
yeah.
saw you in E4, and pick that really weird Bulbasaur looking thumbnail, and I've just kept it ever since. So it stands out. So I guess that's what
Yeah.
we are now.
Yep, some recognition for
Yeah.
seeing the name. So obviously you got back into it in 2021. Where were like obviously you're similar age to me. Get in, were you playing video games? Like tell me kind of like the beginning of where all this nostalgia began.
Yeah. So I was born in '91. So I was, I believe, 7 when the games came out in '98. So went deep into got blue. I wasn't deep into blue because I think it was just a little bit early on. I got on the medium to the tail into blue, but played it a lot nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yellow, silver, crystal, sapphire. I really loved the games. The games were my first love. That they were what brought me in. Played the Pokemon card game on Game Boy. Played Pokemon Pinball. Played like I was Hey You Pikachu. Pokemon Stadium. Like
Wow.
everything. So I was really deep into the games, and that's what pulled me in. And as a lot of people graduated to the cards and became obsessed. So that's I loved everything about the games. Hooking up the trade wires with the friends and getting back into that. But yeah, so it's pretty natural progression. Probably 80% of the people have the same story that have been on your podcast, but really natural progression there.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit different just because of how many games you played. Like, Hey You Pikachu, never in my life I played that
Yeah.
game. But the trade wires, did you ever do any glitches like disconnecting it as it was transferring or any
I,
of
I
that
don't
stuff?
I don't know that I did the disconnect as it was transferring, but I definitely did that cheat code where you would go. I think it was what is it, Cinnabar Island
Oh yeah.
and swim up and down and get
Yep.
the unlimited rare candies and master balls and catch weird level 98
Oh yeah.
screwed up looking like spend a ton of time doing that. Just loved it. Like it's bringing me back just talking about it right now. It makes me want to kind of crack it out and play.
Yep.
Yeah, ton of memories.
I actually like last week just bought the back plate for my Kiwi Game Boy Color, so
Yeah,
now the batteries won't fall out if I turn it on.
I
So
was a Kiwi guy myself too. I since long lost that one, but it's just seeing that Kiwi. I want to get like a complete in box someday. Just that's something that's really high on my list
hell
for
yeah.
like an alternative collectible. Would love to have that.
Yep. So when do you think you got out of Pokemon the first time? Like 2003-ish, or is it?
Yeah. I think that if I remember correctly, it was I think after Neogen, and that's another super common answer I've listened to. So
Yep.
listened to a lot of your podcasts and super common. After Gym, like right when Neogen started to come out, I looked at my childhood stuff, and there was a lot of bulk Japanese Neogen, like Gym. So I did unfortunately sell all of my holographic like holos to like a card shop for like probably like $75
Yeah.
to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I went deep into Yu-Gi-Oh, whenever that time was. So whenever that period was, and I obviously like greatly regret that decision. And I still have my bulk from the commons and uncommons from when I was a kid, but was really disappointed to get rid of those.
Yeah, so the Yu-Gi-Oh thing is similar to me. Like I never played the Pokemon trading card game, but I had the cards. and then getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, and then the competitive scene was there. So I was going to tournaments. Was that something that you were doing, or is it still similar, like just collecting and?
I was playing it, but I wasn't going like to tournaments and playing it like, with the set rules and sitting at a table with a
Yeah,
judge and doing that. But I definitely was playing it with my friends, and that's something I didn't do at all with Pokemon. I never
yeah,
never played the game at all. Just traded cool holographic back and forth. But Yu-Gi-Oh, I think what made Yu-Gi-Oh different was during the anime. They
yep.
they really influenced playing the game, and the characters in the show would put the cards down, and I think that was a big part of why I was trying to kind of emulate that or bring that to the Yu-Gi-Oh experience. So definitely did enjoy playing it.
Oh yeah. So do you collect? Is there any Yu-Gi-Oh you collect now at all, or is it all primarily Pokemon?
I actually had a decent chunk of Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I found I did not sell those because obviously I sold the Pokemon cards to get the Yu-Gi-Oh. So I had like a decent little collection left over of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that when I went back to my childhood home, and I sold them. I sold them all to. I've got a couple remaining,
Yeah.
but I had some nice ones. I just wanted to put that money into Pokemon. So
Yep.
made like probably like a grand worth of selling my Yu-Gi-Oh collection.
Hell yeah. So what were you in your collectibles? Obviously, I looked at your binder. That's probably one of the only binders I looked at while I was there, besides the ones at the vendor tables, which is pretty cool. So what are you collecting? Share
Yeah.
it with a little bit. Yeah. Any
Yeah,
other
yeah. So
collectibles,
other
video
collectibles,
games?
yeah,
Yeah.
other collectibles like so that's a strange one for me. So I'm super hardcore like into sports like football, basketball, like NBA, college basketball, college football,
Yeah.
super engaged, multiple fantasy football leagues like, but for some reason I have no interest in sports cards, like zero, none. Like I maybe like for like it'd be cool to have like a copy of my favorite player, but like I would never spend $2,000 for whatever, super refractor of it. Like if it was, as an add-in to a trade, I would enjoy having it and displaying it and just kind
Yeah.
of a cool patch or a signature. But I have no interest in purchasing it. So I kind of think that's strange because like it's not like I don't like sports. So I don't know what that says, but so no
Yeah.
sports cards. I do. I have kind of started my Harry Potter collection. Got these here. Picked up some Harry Potter base. So a really big Harry Potter fan. Looking into the TCG, picked these up from Jake in Denver. So that's kind of the extent of that. And then in terms of other collectibles like video games or something that I'm looking at, I've got a Game Boy Color that I like to display over there, and I would like some sealed copies of some of my favorite games. Like I see behind you, you've got Halo 2, and those are big for me. Just games that I really connected
Yeah.
with, and I would love to, get those either complete in box or just like a decent grade, and that's something I'm interested in, but haven't really pursued yet.
Yeah. Complete in box, these type of games, extremely affordable.
Yeah,
Like so affordable. It's awesome, which
yeah,
is
because the seal. So I've been trying to learn about how they create video games, and I feel like I get more and more confused as I go along, and I don't. I don't love how like the box and the seal are like graded differently. You could have an absolutely trash box with like an A plus plus seal, or vice versa, a super clean box, but the seal is like ripped or like I don't quite understand it.
yeah.
As far as I understand it now, like anything below like an A plus plus WADA is like trash from what I understand, but it could have a rip or it's not. Like I need to learn more about it before I like start spending hundreds of dollars doing it. So trying to
Yeah.
learn, but I don't know if you have any more insight on what you think about video game grading.
Yeah, it's right there pretty much. It's very different. So an A plus plus could be, obviously that's their highest grade for a seal. A pluses generally should not have any rips, but you can see them sometimes, kind of like getting a PSA 10 that has a white mark or something like that. So there's definitely different people grading different games, vintage, modern. So you got different eyes on the stuff, but um, I'm really curious to see how CGC does it. They're going to have the same grading scale as WADA, basically. So I'm curious to see how they do their A plus pluses. Are they going to be tighter, more strict? I hope not, so I don't get completely wrecked by the games I sent them. But I don't know. There's good content out there to consume. I don't know if you follow Get the Greg games. I know I've mentioned him all the time, but I definitely would recommend him. He's basically doing what Catch 'em all Collectibles does for Pokemon, but he's only video games, which is awesome. Does auction recaps and live streams and
What's his name again? I didn't catch
Get the Greg games, all
Get the
one word
Greg.
basically.
All right, yeah, I get the extent of my video game knowledge from like James and Cam when they're on their podcasts, and like sometimes they go deep into it. And I've like picked up from them, so I am definitely interested, but I'll have to check out that other guy. Super interested to see how CGC, like do we know what their case looks like yet? Like I feel like have we seen that?
Yep. Yeah, I definitely. I think I made a CDC video, and somewhere in that 7-minute video, I shared a screenshot of it.
I think I was listening to that on the headphones. But does it look like the card slab, like with the same label type? And okay.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Yeah. No, it looks basically the same exact label as comics, everything.
I would love to check that out. I think CGC has just like the nicest slabs in general. So hopefully they use some of that same type of plastic on their video game cases.
They look clean, man. They do. Very clean. Yeah, so it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe I should pause this and get my Pokemon goals completed before I jump into something else. Don't want to be
it's suggested, it's there's affordable games, but when you you want the prettiest and the cleanest, then it can get slippery quick. So the Pokemon stuff you're collecting, you showed me your binder of basically your artist collection.
Yep.
So is there a certain card that you're missing you want?
So I have exciting news on that front. So it's Komiya. So I love he's my favorite artist. I've been working on a master set of his for a while, slowly just picking up cards here and there. But ever since I got back in, his cards just caught my eye, and I just haven't been able to stop. I just love it. It's different. It's hand drawn. It really stands out, and that doesn't mean I don't love like some of the CGI arts are cool and some of the EX era, and like I like those as well. But I really like what he does. But I actually just crossed off the biggest, or in my opinion, the biggest Komiya card. I was able to acquire that as of yesterday. So I'm gonna make a YouTube video about that, but really excited. I'll give a little sneak peek over here. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this card here. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Yeah. So this is the New Year present jumbo card. It's a jumbo card, so it's really niche or whatever you want to call it. But it's one of the most expensive and rare Komiya cards, in the TCG, and doesn't come up a lot. I believe there are about 10 total graded across all grades through PSA. I don't believe CGC grades jumbos, but super excited to get that. I've been looking for that card for a long time, probably like a year and a half, and I had an opportunity to buy one that was pretty beat up from a guy off E4, and I just didn't pull the trigger at the time, and I was looking at the pictures. I would log on, take a look at the pictures every day, and just be like, just like don't really love how that's kind of bent there, and just don't love it. But somebody snatched it, and I've kind of regretted it ever since, because like with a card this rare, like I don't think condition matters a ton, like as long as it's not like creased in half. Like I wanted the history. I wanted to add it to my collection. So funny story, like I in the Pokenomics Discord, there's like an in search of channel where post in there, you're like, hey, looking for this card, want to buy, essentially. So all familiar with that. So I had finally, after coming back from Collecticon in Denver, and just I just felt like I was reinvigorated, like as a collector. Like coming back, I just like had this passion and energy, and I was like, I want to get this card. Like I had been looking for it and searching for it, probably a couple times a week, just pop, save search in eBay just to check it, or check some of the Japanese websites, every once in a while. But like once I got back, I just really felt, I felt different. I felt like a passion. I was like, I want this thing. Like I'm going to really search for it, post on all the forums. Where is it at? I posted in that in search of channel in the Discord, and literally after I completed that post, I went to eBay, did a search, and there was a new listing that had just popped up, like within. I mean, it said new listing, so it had to have been within 24 hours. And I looked at it. It was a fair price. Well, I don't know if people think it's a fair price. You can look up what I paid for it, but like it was a fair price based on kind of what's available. There was one just totally jacked up one listed on eBay for like almost twice as much for a long time, and I was just kind of leave. I was just like, that's not what I want. So once this popped up, like I basically snap bought it, and I was so pumped. Got here yesterday. So there's a little bit of a twist with it that makes it a little bit extra special, the one that I got, and makes it a little bit more unique. And I'll get into that when I post my YouTube video. But like, I'm so excited, like to check that off. So like, I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm just like through the moon about getting that card. So.
Did you buy it from the girl that holds the cards between her boobs?
No, but I have seen her before. Yeah, that's a strange account there, but I haven't thought about that for every once in a while. You'll just be scrolling along and see
you'll
that.
Scroll and be like, yep, there she is.
Yeah, there she is, shilling whatever she's shilling, some $2 modern card, but no, like I couldn't be more excited. Everybody check out my YouTube video in a couple days. Give me a chance to do some editing and shooting. So I won't commit myself to putting it out this week, but stay tuned. And I'm just so excited to pick
That's
that
awesome.
up. Yeah,
very cool. So is it similar to, like, I know they do different size jumbos. What size is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure, and it's in a stupid plastic bag because I don't have like jumbo sleeves. But it is. I don't know if you can tell. Like here's a normal normal card there.
I respect that size way more than the new ones.
Yeah. So
new ones are freaking massive.
The new ones are massive. This like makes it feel like more of a part of the TC, even though it's obviously not. But like
a postcard size.
It is. So the cool thing about this and what really makes it and adds another layer is it is a postcard. Is it really? This itself was a literal postcard. It's got there's an address, like a Japanese address, printed on the back. It was sent out as part of, I believe, the Players Club program, and it was sent out for the year 2000, like Y2K, and sent out to people who were a part of that program. And like it was sent in the mail like that. It wasn't like covered in a sleeve or whatever. Like this was it was the mail. So that just makes it so much cooler to me, because this 22 years ago, like this thing went through the Japanese mail service and didn't get like crushed between a box and like totally wrecked. And the recipient got it in their mailbox, probably played with it as a kid, like an 8-year-old kid, tossed it in the drawer, and then 22 years later, it's not in great. It's not going to get a PSA 10 by any means. It's got some wear and tear on it, but like. It's not folded in half. Like it's just a cool thing to me that all those steps had to be taken. Then it had to be listed on eBay. I had to search it out specifically and find it and buy it. It had to be shipped across the world from Japan. I bought this directly from Japan, and that just makes it that much more special for me. Oh, yeah. Like the story behind that and just the journey that it took. And it's like, I'm just so happy to have gotten it. So that is the most, like I mentioned before, like the most expensive, rare. Somebody could some person in the comments is probably going like, no, the PSA 10 version of this Komiya, like whatever. Like this is the card that you need if you want to complete like a master set. Like you're not going to find this, and this is what you need. So just really cool to I don't know. There's 10, 12 graded. And there's obviously a few more ungraded that I'm aware of, but like there's not a ton of these. So it also feels special, like that I'm one of 20 people, 25 maybe in the world that could probably a little bit more that could complete a master set. So just rambled on for a long time there, but I'm just stoked.
No, that's good, man. It's badass. So now being at the top of the mountain, the Komiya Mountain. What's next? Is there other Komiya cards you got your eyes set on, or?
Yeah, there's a lot, and what I would like to do is to add like a layer of challenge, because I could go through and buy the raw copies of some of the more desired, like for example the Masaki Machamp is a Komiya card, but I to add a little bit of a layer of challenge to it, I want to get the holos in PSA 9, and there's a ton. There's hundreds of cards throughout he's still illustrating to this day. So that collecting like a certain artist also makes it really fun to like open modern. So
Yeah.
like, you know, if I get nothing, like if I get a common that's illustrated by him, like I'm pumped. Like I don't care if it's the crappiest V you've ever seen or like a non-hollow rare from the worst set of all time that's worth
Yeah.
2 cents. If I got that, you know, Komiya common card, like it was a success. So it just collecting an artist like this has brought me like so much joy in so many different ways, and I like highly recommend it if you have like your eye on an artist. It's a really cool way to add like another layer of collecting to your portfolio. I don't know if portfolio is the right word, but highly recommended.
Who drew? I'm looking right now. What's his name? The illustrator of the Diglett.
Which
Kajisuki.
which Diglett? There are some Diglets. I think Skyridge Diglett is a Komiya card. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
nice.
I love I know you're a Diglett collector too, by the way, and I got a little surprise for you here.
I was just looking at your Instagram. You got a couple
Yeah.
Diglets sitting here.
Oh, oops. Pop the microphone, but we got a nice little glizzy page here. I don't know if you can
Damn.
see that. I collect little Diglett on the side. I have and the reason I do that, adjust the microphone here, but I have like a really special memory with one of my childhood best friends, kind of just connecting over Diglett. Like we just thought he was like funny and thought he was like a weird Pokemon. And like we have like a unique like memory with him where we just like we're drawing Diglets as like little little first graders and like laughing at it, like imagining if he had like a butt underground and we were like dying laugh. Just like there was just a special connection. We would always like talk about I don't know, just hard to explain, but collecting Diglett cards, as stupid as it sounds, like connects me to that extremely happy and like just joyous laughter with one of my best friends from childhood. So got a little Diglett binder going too. So
it reminded me what you talking about sitting in class just drawing Diglets.
Yeah.
It reminded me of remember the movie Superbad?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, the dude's just obsessed with just drawing just dicks on
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Just, but you were drawing Diglets, so mad respect.
Yeah, like one of the hard, like I remember where I was sitting, like, and when we like drew a Diglett and then we were like underneath the ground, we are like drew an ass, and like as like 8-year-old me thought that was like the funniest thing of all time. I was like crying laughing, and it's like burned into my memory to this day. So that's, I don't know, just collecting is just so cool. Like we're all just trying to connect to like our childhood, and like these items just allow us to, it's just special. It's special. It really is.
You opening modern cards at all? Like how much are you like binder set collecting, or what else are you doing?
I don't do like master set binders, but I like opening modern. I enjoy it. Like I know I'm gonna get wrecked and lose like all my money, and it's just like but like I know that I'm not opening modern to like see if I can pull the sickest
out,
like I'm not stonk. Like I know that it's probably gonna turn to zero and I'm gonna get like a 20-cent V, and like I don't care, but a lot of it is for that reason I just explained with Komiya, looking for those cards. And it's just fun. Like if I'm at Target, just a little, one of those like pack hanging up, just grab it, $5, open it up when I get home, and sometimes you pull something sick and it's like fun, or cool artworks. Some of the commons and uncommons and art in general and modern is insane, and it's just fun. It's just fun for me. So I do open modern, yeah.
Yep, 100%. That's cool. Yeah, it's always a problem. Every time I walk into Target or Walmart, gotta go look at the card section.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I plan on buying anything or not. I just kind of want to see what's on the shelf, what's not selling. I just want to take it in and see what's happening. It gives me a good idea.
Like it's almost like an unspoken thing. Like when I'm shopping with my fiance in like Target, Walmart, I'll just kind of give her a look and like, hey, heading over to the toy aisle, and she's just like, it's just something that I do. So I like it. Like I'm not gonna make money. I know I'm not stonking out. It's enjoyable to open some modern.
Does she get into it at all? She a fan, or is she just completely like, go do your thing? Just she respects it enough.
She's interested in like what I have to say. Like she doesn't collect herself, but she really makes an effort to like listen to my stupid story, like about this card. Like told her everything that I told you, like with the same amount of like excitement, and like she's trying. She like it's kind of she doesn't not super interested, but like she wants to like understand it. So
that's cool, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine if my wife was like into Pokemon, wanted to collect. It sounds extremely expensive.
Yeah, like that would be like killer. Like I know like DJ Gigabyte and follow him, really like him a lot, and he and his I'm not sure if they're married. It might be married girlfriend, but significant other nonetheless. They collect together and double the amount, and that would be tough. But it would also be like really fun to
It'd be
collect
weird,
together.
yeah. Doing it with your best friend, opening ripping packs on a Friday night.
100%.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. Probably will never experience it, but it'd be
Yeah.
interesting. But I'm definitely looking forward to that YouTube video here in the next 24 hours. No, joking.
Yeah. Don't. I'm going out of town this weekend.
Yeah.
And I won't have time to unless I like spend all day Saturday like doing it. It'll probably be later. And might try to fire out a UPC video too, just so I can please the algorithms. But we'll see.
Yeah. So obviously you started the YouTube channel basically right after CollectCon Denver. Is there any other reasons, or what are your goals with it? Kind of explain it, because everything also is going to be linked down below in the description. So everybody go check it out. Hit the sub button. You're in for a ride.
I appreciate that. Yeah, there's only one video there now, but promise more is coming. But I'm honestly like stunned at the positive feedback that I've received from that YouTube upload. Like, everybody's just had really nice things to say. It's got like over like 350 views. It's doing like it's not like I'm not going viral or anything, but like it makes me feel good that like people are like liking it and getting some subscribers. And that wasn't my goal in starting it. I'm not trying to like become a Leonhardt and get monetized and like stonk and do that. Like that's not my goal. Like I started this and I mentioned it in like my introductory video, just kind of like the reason I started is just to really like engage more with the Pokemon community. Like we were talking, like we were DMing a little bit, and like you played a big part in like encouraging me to do that. And like I was like I think I want to do this to like engage more and enhance the engagements with the community. Like that's the goal. Like I've got Instagram, I've got Discord, E4, watching YouTube videos myself, commenting in the chats. Like I've got all that, but like creating your own content and like coming on like a podcast with you or going on a live, been on a few lives and interacting with the chats from that perspective. Just, it's like a whole nother level. It's like really fulfilling, like, and it's just that next level. And I just love all of this so much that I just want more, like more, give me more of the community. That's the reason why I started it. And it's like been a ton of fun. Doing that. So already been on a few different lives. Went on Jake from Pokenomics was the first to invite me. That was my first foray into lives. And then Connor from Rock Pokemon, Rob from Red or Blue invited me on their Kanto Conversations podcast. And then here I am with the Green Shiz. So it is crazy whirlwind. Like I would have never ever guessed like 2 weeks ago that I would
going into Denver.
Zero shot. Like 0%. Like I'm gonna upload on YouTube. I'm gonna be on like these live streams with these people I've been watching for like a year and a half, 2 years myself. Honestly, it's like surreal. It's awesome. Having a ton of fun.
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad you took the leap, went to Denver. So when did you pull the trigger and decide you're gonna go to Denver CollectCon?
When did I pull the trigger? I don't know. I think it goes back, and I mentioned it a million times, the Pokenomics Discord. Shout out Jake and Dan. They run a great community, and their Patreon is well worth the $10 to go. They do a lot of deep dives into the market and just really enjoy that community and the value that they add. So I'll give them a little plug there because I really enjoy them. But it started in that Discord. I think we just one person messaged, hey, about Denver, and then it kind of snowballed and more people were like, yeah, heck yeah. And it just kind of caught its own life. And after a while there was like several confirmed people and wanted to check out Denver as a city, never been, and just decided to pull the trigger. Looked up flights, got it super cheap flights, had some flight vouchers with Southwest because I got royally wrecked a few months ago, so flew down for flew down for next to nothing and just pulled the trigger. And I was nervous. I was nervous. Like once I bought those tickets, booked the hotel, like I was like a little nervous, like, just really put like it required a lot of energy and effort to like really, because I knew when I went down there, I'm like, you're gonna have to make the effort. Like you're gonna have to walk up to people, introduce yourself. You're going to have to, you know, to do all that. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have to be the one making the effort. And you know, I was nervous that it wasn't going to go well, or I was going to get rejected and just be like, you know, you're not a YouTuber, like you don't have a chance. Like, yeah, you know, I didn't really think that was going to happen, but there was like a percentage chance, like I just wasn't gonna. So, but once I went there, it was such a positive experience, and everybody was like so welcoming me, like welcoming to me, and like Swami invited us all to his house. He invited me, and like that's where I met you, and met. There was a ton of people there, and it was just like that was a really good environment to like introduce myself to everybody. And then so when the next day I went to the actual event, I could walk up to the booth and be like, hey, remember when we were like playing beer pong last night and laughing around the fire? Like here at like, so that was a really shout out Swami, by the way, for inviting us all over and opening up his home to that. It made a difference. It made a difference for me. And it really opened up the weekend for me. And it was just a phenomenal experience. Like 10 out of 10, like so glad that I did do that. Like, and put myself out there. And I understand that, it might not be as easy for everybody like that was in my position. I'm a pretty like sociable guy, you know, good at talking 100%. And introducing myself and just, you know, not that I'm like, you know, I don't know. It comes a little bit easier to some people. And I know that there's probably a chunk of people out there who might have some social anxieties and not know how to engage, or that what I did might seem outrageous to them and like give them anxiety. So for all the people who feel like that, feel free to direct message me on Instagram. I will help you, and I will introduce you to people. I'll invite you to Discords. I will, you know, if I'm in Collecticon, I will come and walk around the event with you. So please, I want to pay it forward and help people out who might be feeling that way.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, same. It's just great community, honestly. There's not one person I've met that is like, whoa, you're not the same as who you are online. It's we're all. Yeah, most of everybody I've met seems down to earth. I haven't ever met any of the huge YouTube channel people or PokeTube people, but it probably will never happen. But I don't care if it does. So I'm just in this community, all great people, and I love it. So we're all here for each other and want to see it grow and get to know other nerds, man. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Like the nerds should be the one like group of people who are not like clicky or like having their own cliques. Like if you know, so nobody's been like that at all. Like everybody's been super, you know, walk up to them, shake their hand, and you know, ask them about Pokemon. So it's the great equal. Like we all want to talk about it so much because, like, you know, like for example, like my fiance, like I can't get into the weeds of pop reports and you know what's going on in the market with her. So like when I meet a fellow collector, like it's game on, and we just all have that common ground instantly, and it makes it easy.
100%, man. 100%. Yeah, but Collecticon, obviously you were not vending.
No.
Would you change that next time, or what are your thoughts on the whole experience? That was your first one, right?
That was my first one. And I probably won't be vending because I don't have the inventory to vend. Like I've got, you know, I could probably fill up like a quarter or a half of a case with stuff that I might might want to sell. But like I would love to sell. I would love that experience. People speak really highly of it, and it's not like a chore or work when you are vending, from what I hear, you know, anecdotally from people telling stories. But I just simply don't have enough things to sell.
Yep. Did you get any sweet pickups while you were walking around there or anything?
Yeah, I was in this extends past my like Komiya collection. Like I what I really found out about myself and like what I like to collect is like I really like unique art a lot, and like Japanese exclusive promos. So like, and the reason I kind of found that out, I hadn't really clearly defined, other than the Komiya goal before I went there, like what else I liked in addition to Komiya. And the reason I was able to kind of define it is because everybody I met brand new was like, what do you collect? What are your interests? And I was like, you know, great question. So it really made me like think about it more. So I just like there are certain artworks that catch my eye, and I like to collect those. And here's a pickup. Love Tentacruel from
Yep.
Aquapolis. Got that for a great deal. Probably gonna do really well on that and grade it. And I just love that artwork. Something that's always stuck out to me. Giant squid underwater. Love that. Picked this up. Love Lance's
Yep.
Gyarados from Versus series. Picked up the Harry Potter art set from base. And there's some other pickups in other cards, but those are just things that I have here at hand. So
Yeah.
yeah, so those are some pickups.
That's awesome. So with your grading, you're gonna submit half of those to grading. Do you have a preferred company or?
Yeah, with grading, PSA. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel with what I say about grading, like PSA, because we want, everybody wants their cards to hold the most value. So, that's why you froze there for a second, but that's PSA. So to hold the value, and that's the reason. I think that's a really easy answer. I think that I do like CGC, and I like their slabs.
Yeah.
I think that they have like a lane to fill. Like if they play their cards right, they can, I think, become that cheaper, ultra modern, super quick turnaround times, lower price. I think that that's a lane to fill, and I think that if they continue to make smart decisions, like I think that they have for the most part throughout their history, I think that they can really have some good staying power and do that. But in terms of if that's going to happen, when that's going to happen, will they clearly define that role? I don't think any of us know. It's
Yeah.
impossible to say with PSA lowering their price, and the further they go, obviously, the further CGC is going to have to go below that to become that attractive offer. The quicker the turnaround times PSA gets, the quicker CGC is going to have to be to maintain that competitive advantage in that space. And I think they can do it. I mean, I'm interested to see, but like the the rate in which with which the everything's changing with PSA lowering, it's gone down significantly. They're getting bulk back,
Yeah.
in under 3 months now for the most part. $15 special, $18. It's they could, if they are smart about what they do, they could try to squash that competition from CGC and just lower the price to where it's can't be competed, and increase their decrease their turnaround time. So it'll be interesting to see it all play out. I don't know what's going to happen. What about you? What are your thoughts on that on the next, I don't know, couple years in grading?
I don't know. It's like if I'm not obviously if I have a card and it's a PSA 10 quality, I'm going to send it to PSA to reap
Yeah.
the benefits. Most of the time, like when I'm grading cards, CGC is a lot more generous. You got a chance to get a 9.5. I've seen tons of 9.5s that don't deserve 10s, as everybody has, but it seems like if you got like a PSA 5 quality card, CGC could give it a 7. Like there's the price straight up, like a CGC 5 versus a PSA 5, the CGC is getting shat on. But if you look at the card condition, a CGC 5 looks like complete dog crap compared to a PSA 5. So that's earned. Similar for even a CGC 7. A CGC 7 looks terrible compared to a PSA 7. So there's a reason it's cheaper. But usually, if you were to crack that PSA 7, usually it would upgrade. I would say for the lower end. So if I got a light played, excellent condition card, it'll probably go to CGC if it's worth getting slabbed. Especially if it's like a collection card. I like putting stuff for my collection in a CGC slab if it's not a PSA 10. I love my PSA 10s. All my Zapdos cards are PSA 10s that I chase. But I guess probably the main reason is because they don't exist in CGC 10s, most of them. But that seems to be changing. But it really depends on the condition of the card and what the card means to me. I'm all over the place, really. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not in bed with one company, but because I like the way CGC feels and looks, it's definitely in the cards for me, pun intended. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't hate CGC. I'm not like
yeah,
CGC is trash. Like you should never grade there. Like why you're an idiot if you grade it's like I'm not
yeah,
doing that. Like I don't want I think competition is good. Like we want CGC to do well, so that will influence PSA to keep upping their game as well. And Beckett, in addition to that, I have no reason to want CGC to fail. And I similarly, like to you, there are some personal collection things, like, for example, this card, like, if they ever started grading jumbos, I would want to grade it with CGC because like, don't have a ton of plans to sell that in the future. So that would, just the love their slabs, that they're so much more clear and they feel there's just a difference to the plastic. So I do agree with you there, and don't want them to fail. And we will see what happens. You brought up the Zapdos, and do we have any word on what's going on with the creatures Zapdos, or are we going to get a video about that soon?
I looked today. It's still in grading, still in the middle tier grading. Yeah, so I did $50 tier level. Like I submitted it cheap, yeah, hoping I could get it skated by without them upcharging.
Yeah.
I don't know but I also probably shouldn't have sent it with a mechanical chaser, because that's like a $22,000 to $2,500 card also. So yeah, I don't know. Still waiting. I cannot wait, but it's killing me.
That just kills me. And like I've been following that, your situation with the creatures deck, because I owned, in past tense, I owned a creatures deck card myself, and that's like one of my favorite releases. And my grail would be like the Beta Chansey, I think my all-time grail. But I've just been following. I love the creatures deck, and just I'm hoping for you, man. That sucks when you.
Yeah,
I feel it feels bad, but what can you do?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably gonna get the PSA 6 for that little pinpoint, but and then it'll go right back to CGC. So I'll re-encapsulate it with them, and
don't feel too bad too. Those cards are so rare that like it just is cool to like own a cop. I don't know how many there are total, graded, like maybe 10 total in the world. So
yeah, it's pretty cool, unique release. I was excited to see Rocket Zapdos, one of my favorite cards, come in it. And when Charlie had put it in Heritage, I was like, all right, this ain't gonna end well. I need to snap by this bad boy. So
yeah, I bought the Charmeleon from the same auction from Charlie, and ended up selling it to Quichancy. Shout out Quichancy. So getting married next year, and he made a really strong offer, and just couldn't refuse that with a lot of expenses coming up, starting a family and getting married next year. So maybe I'll live to regret, not being able to acquire, because who knows, that's one of those cards and one of those releases that you may never be able to acquire again, depending on how many trickle out. So may end up regretting it, but like that was just a smart decision for myself at the time, and I can't beat myself up for it. So
Yep. And looking at your Instagram here, you got a Hitmonlee and a CGC 9 slab next to some pliers and a screwdriver. How did that go?
Got the PSA 9. So I guess I should have done a little follow-up post to that. And like I definitely, I would have done a follow-up post if it would have crossed over to the 10. But like got the pliers and screwdrivers, and I was just trying to make a play. I thought it looked great on the scans. It is pretty off center. But once I got it in person and started moving it around the light, there's some really bad hollow scratching, and I'm actually shocked it got the PSA 9. There's like, sorry to the person who bought that, but there's some decent chunk of scratching on that bad boy.
Probably should have been a 7, but I'll sell it because it's encapsulated, right?
I've actually got really lucky with grading in general, just like graders missing stuff. All the grades that I did in my like first YouTube video when I went through that 20 card submission, like every single one was probably a grade higher than I thought it should have been. So
that's good.
Good luck so far. I'm sure I'll get wrecked here in the future. So
if I get wrecked, I might just send you the Zapdos so you could send it.
Send it to me. Yeah, I got the magic touch, but I'm sure get a reckoning is about to come.
Yeah. Yep. How many Charizard UPCs you jump on? You got any?
Four of them. I pre-ordered 2 from the Pokemon I can't even speak right now. The Pokemon Center. Got 2 of them from them, and then 2 from Target. Been checking those tracking numbers. One of them supposed to come tomorrow. It's still in Texas, so we'll see. Oh, looks like it just arrived in Champaign. So we'll be getting at least 2 of them, and then playing the crack game and trying to see. But I know I'm not I have enough sense to know that like I could just get totally wrecked and they could print a ton of these and these could go down quite a few. I don't know. I feel pretty comfortable that I'm not going to just like lose my butt and lose like 90% on these. I mean, we've got 3 unique Charizard arts that are really cool looking, a ton of packs, a cool play mat. Like, so I'm willing to like, when I bought them, I wasn't like, I'm going to stonk to the moon, like get the checks ready, 'cause I'm cashing. Like, that wasn't my mindset. Like, I thought that I had a good chance, and it's just fun. The process is fun for me. Like, even if I break even or lose money or have to hold some for a little bit longer than I want and tie up some capital that I didn't want to tie up, the process is fun. You know, opening them up, getting them in the mail, opening them up, and seeing what the condition is, trying to play that game, sending them off, packaging it, like that. All that's fun for me. So even if I lose money, like I'll still have had fun along the way. That's how I feel. What about you? You didn't pick up any, did you? I've heard you talk about it in a couple streams.
Yeah, nothing yet, but it'll be one of those things. If I'm at a Target and I see one, I might snap by it. But yeah, I don't know, lazy, I guess. That's about it. I feel like it's definitely you're probably gonna do well. I don't see it. Definitely is one of those things. I don't think it's as nice as the 25th anniversary one with the metal cards in it, but this is right there next to it, man. You can't. There's very slim chances, I think, of losing your investment, your initial buy. So
Yeah,
really curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I think the day when this drops is going to be like the official release date, the 28th of October. So
Yeah.
I think with this, like, everybody just needs to like take a deep breath, like let's just let the dust settle a little bit. Like, there are all these narratives and everybody's like, no, the like, this is a can't miss product, like stunk into the moon. And then like the next week everybody's like, you know, be careful, they're printing a ton, like everybody's got a pre-order, it's going to tank. And now the narrative is the card quality is terrible and everything is going to be a PSA 7 and no 10s. It's like, let's just take a breath. Let's take a breath.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't even got to the official release date. Like, everybody calm down. Let's, none of us know how many are going to be printed. None of us can predict the demand. Like, I think that these narratives are just like taking on a life of their own, and just everybody's kind of got tense and when they're talking about it. So, I mean, it is fun to talk about. It's a cool product and excited to see what happens, but let's take a moment and take a breath.
Yep, 100%. Are you actively selling things? Like I'd say most of the people I've had on this podcast interview, that most of them are actively buying and selling pretty much on the daily. Like, they have their eBay set up, they got stuff either on auction or being sold left and right. You said you sold your Charmeleon. Is that like a one-off type sale, or are you more just collecting right now?
Yeah. I have an eBay store, so maybe I can fire that link off to you and you can add it to the description too. But I'm not, it's not a huge eBay store or anything like, but I do have like a comfort level with eBay. Like, ever since I was a kid, my mom used to, flip things herself. Like, she had a hobby of, she would buy, like, back when college textbooks, when everything wasn't digital, like, she would purchase like college textbooks at Goodwill for like 15 cents and sell them for like $200, and would find like vintage purses at Goodwill and flip, and like different, like, that was like her hobby, like thrifting and like flipping on eBay. Like, and I would help her take the pictures for the listing. Like, back when I was 10 years old, like, take the pictures, list for her. She would, if I would help her, she would give me a little bit of the profit. I would help her shop. So like, I've been flipping and like listing on eBay since I was like, before I hit puberty. So I have like a comfortability with eBay and like how to interact with sellers. Like, you'll see my current eBay, there's not a ton of feedback, like it's less than 100, but like, I have experience, like I feel comfortable with the process, and I've worked in like variety of like sales roles as well. So so I feel comfortable with like the customer interaction, like how to make those. So that's a long way to say, like, I do sell, and I feel comfortable with it. I enjoy the process. I've got experience doing it, know how to like price stuff and list stuff and the correct pictures, but I just don't have like the capital to like buy and sell a lot. Like, I just don't. Like, I do it a little bit, buy little collections here and there, but I'm not like pumping thousands of dollars into the hobby and have 200 listings. But I enjoy it. So yes, to answer your question, I do sell a little bit on the side.
Awesome. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of, like, I feel like I've met so many people who had that experience, like doing eBay listings with parents, and just blows my freaking mind. That's crazy how old eBay is, and
It
like just you don't think of it like it's older than Google
it
and stuff
is.
like that.
It is. I think it was back in the days of like money order cashier's checks and like sending those through the mail and like doing the whole thing. But like that it's just fun. Like, and me, I don't know if like having that experience and having like a positive and a connection with my mom and doing that when I was a kid, like, makes me enjoy the process of buying and flipping now. Like it's possible, probable, like that's
Yeah,
the case. Like I'm sure there's some kind of connection there. That's why I enjoy it. So I like to flip, like, but with the UPCs, like I'm buying them and with the express purpose of trying to flip them and make money. And if I make some money, maybe I'll keep one for myself, keep the promos, the play mat, open some packs. But like, I don't think like I'm like a dirty flipper, like we
yeah.
like to use the term like dirty, gross flipper. Like, I think that there's a
Scalper.
lot of people. I think there's a lot of people like me who like flip to make money, but also we enjoy like the process, keep a little bit for ourselves, and aren't that like evil flipper. So that I don't I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I kind of view my
Yeah.
selling.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I feel like I'm similar to you. I sell some and then I buy more than I probably should. I sell some and I probably buy more. Like it's
Yeah.
more of a collecting thing. But I'm selling some, as you saw. I sell some high value things, but then I turned around the same day and pretty much rebought into the game. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's crazy, man. It's
Like I'm totally with you there. Like I sold that Creatures deck card, and I'm not going to disclose the price that I sold it for because I don't know if the buyer would like that. But like it was a decent chunk of change, and like in my head I'm like, oh, I'm selling this. Got the wedding next year, and then all of a sudden this bad boy pops up, and I've got the bank accounts looking a little bit fresh, and
yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna miss that opportunity and pull the trigger. So it's not like I'm taking away now I can't pay for my wedding. Like I've got
yeah,
money. I'm trying to act responsible. Like I'm not spending my last
yeah,
dollar and unable to pay my bills, and I'm still able to save money, pay my bills, pay for my wedding. Like I just am gonna save a little bit less
yeah.
because of that card. So I think a lot of people probably are like us in that sense.
Yeah, you guys call the female and say, "Hey, we're gonna have a bunch of like diglets as centerpieces
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Really sorry."
We're gonna get some sitting cuties, but yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna get some stuff. But yeah, so but did tell her about, I was like, hey, just so you know, this is how much money I spent on that. And she kind of just opened her eyes a little bit and looks at me, but she's understanding. She knows like I have like a big passion with this, and I would never like purchase something that is just gonna, tank to the floor, or like,
yeah,
it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me that she, is understanding of like, hey, like, it's not people from the outside probably have a hard time understanding like spending thousands of dollars on weird like
yeah,
cards. So I appreciate her, for understanding like the passion and the story behind them and what it means to me, and that I will make smart decisions. So
yep,
yeah.
yeah. It's what it takes. Somebody trusting, loving partner, and it let them buy Amazon packages whenever they
Yep.
want.
So when all the Amazon and the shoes and
Yeah,
all the packages show up on the doorstep, like I have no room to say anything because I probably have just as many packages of Pokemon cards like waiting on the doorstep too. So, but
except yeah, all
but
the
no.
Amazon crap just goes straight down in price, like goes to zero as soon as it hits
Yeah,
the
yeah.
door. That's
Exactly.
the
Like
that's the
if
difference.
if we need to, like I can, if we're in a big pickle and we get into a major depression, I'm sure that there's a
Yeah,
buyer out there for that card. But I mean,
yeah,
even if it went to zero, like I wouldn't want to make a decision based on that. Like I want to make the decision to purchase that. Like if that money turned into zero, like I wouldn't be in trouble. So,
yeah,
not to say that I haven't made stupid financial decisions and maybe spent a little bit more, but I think it's important to kind of reiterate this, and like, you shouldn't be spending money on this stuff if you're not going to be able to pay your bills.
yeah.
So just that message needs to be tossed out there.
Yep. I think you had mentioned in one of the lives you're not going to Orlando, right? Because your wedding is
It
similar time, or is
so I won't dox myself with the wedding date. I think I may have already done that in the Discord, but the wedding is soon thereafter. So
yeah,
we're gonna be deep in the planning, and I'm going to Florida in November. I'm going to New York City in January, and I just can't really afford, and going to Italy for my honeymoon in May, and got a lot going
Awesome.
on. So we're gonna have to skip the next couple of Collecticons, which hurts my heart, but it's for the better.
Yeah, luckily I think that it's like stacked at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's just there's only a couple in the beginning of the year or something like that. But
Yeah. I saw that we've got Dallas and in Orlando at the beginning, and then the one thing I don't really love that it's stacked is like Charlotte and Denver are only a few weeks apart, and those are two good locations, and I wish we could one would be in the summer, but I've kind of got my eye on Charlotte as maybe we can convince the fiance to do a little vacation to Charlotte, and I can bring her around the Collecticon.
Oh yeah, man, that'd be cool. Yeah, I didn't do Charlotte this year, but yeah, I need to figure out what I'm doing because I don't even know if I'm going to Orlando or I have a wedding I need to go to in Florida, and then the next month is February in Texas. Like I got too much crap going on, so it's going to be interesting. It'll be nice though. Hopefully I can get out to it, but that'd be nice.
Yeah,
We'll
for
see.
sure.
But you said you definitely probably wouldn't vend, right? You'd still be walking around.
I mean, if I
just because of what you have to sell.
Yeah, I mean, if I, I'm always looking for collections. So like, if I happen to, come across something and maybe able to grade it in time, and I would love to vend, but I just physically don't have the inventory to like make sense to do it. But that's something I do want to do at some point.
Oh yeah, no, you'll love it. I love doing both. I love walking around and checking everything out, but vending also is just a completely different, awesome experience.
So you vended at Long Beach, didn't you?
Yeah, vended Long Beach. I've vended Houston. I believe it was Houston. Vended like 4 of them now, 4 or 5.
Did you make some good sales? Was it like profitable in addition to being fun?
Yeah, it was. It was probably 10,000 the first time at Houston, and then the second time day one in Long Beach. In Long Beach, I had a kidney stone like at noon. Like the show had just like maybe it was like 1 or 2 p.m. maybe, but it was still like halfway through the show. And I'm just like I'm looking at Nick because me and Nick got booths right. We're sharing a section area. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, dude, I gotta go. Like I packed all my stuff up and I go to like urgent care.
Oh,
He texts me later on, or I texted him, one of the two. I'm like, hey man, I don't remember. He probably texted me. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Quit being a bitch or something. I'm like, well, I'm sitting at urgent care right now. He's like, oh, my bad, dude. Like, but that was still not bad. It still was like $5,000 or something for those 2 days I was there. So, but not nearly as what it probably could have been if I hung around and yeah. So it's yeah, I enjoy it though. But I do have a lot of inventory and vintage slabs, so it's fun.
That would be fun to like amass enough of a collection to be able to like there's stuff that you still enjoy having, but maybe there's like you want to consolidate it down into a couple items that you really want for the collection. It's just fun to like buy and sell, like we were talking about earlier. Like I don't know if you feel the same. It's just fun to look through your stuff and price it out and look on it, and it's just the process is fun.
Oh yeah, man, I love it. Love it. You how many Moonbryons you purchasing lately?
0.0. Yeah. I usually don't like to give like financial advice or whatever, like do the Dan Catch 'em all collectibles, like give the disclaimers and everything. But I feel pretty comfortable making giving some advice on this one. And if my advice is that you should not buy this card in my personal opinion. Like it's got all of the makings of the classic mania and a speculative bubble from the news media coverage on the way up, increasing the delusion, skyrocketing to the top. I mean, it stayed steady at like 600 and then like a little bit of creep up to 800 and stayed there for a couple months, and all of a sudden it's really taken that turn, and it's I don't know. Right before I went on, I checked some listings here, and I think I saw 5, 6, 14 to $1,500 active auctions, 6, 7, 1,300. Like it's insane. Like I'm scrolling through right now on my other screen. It is there are quite a few, like 10 at least at like almost $1,400. So
That's insane.
And the pop on that, I believe, is like well over 2,000. I think it's like 2,400, 2,500 almost, so 2,488 in a PSA 10. They are hard to pull, but there is a ton of Evolving Skies printed. We don't know if it's done printing. Like, even if it is hard to pull and it's like an alt art and it's like 1 in 1,000 packs, there still could be like 50,000 of those, upwards of like some people have estimated like 100K. So there could be a lot, and I would not be purchasing that card. Like, if you are smart and savvy and know what you're doing and can identify a mint $400 raw one, and you can do it quickly and you can express it, and you're very knowledgeable on how to buy, sell, list, engage with sellers, how to submit with PSA, doing it at the correct, and you're able to identify, pre-grade properly, then I think there's place to be made at purchasing some raw cards and flipping them quickly for like 3x your money. But for the average person who doesn't feel comfortable with that whole process, would strongly advise against not playing that game, playing with fire. And I'm not going to tell people what to do with their money, but my prediction is it's probably going to break that 2K psychological barrier before it starts to come down, and then I would expect it to come down to back to the $600 to $800 range within the next year. So that would be my prediction.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, man, seeing this card and what it's able to do compared to vintage cards in really low populations, just because there is no eyes on it. It's not getting the media. So just the number of collectors that are looking at modern and like modern is 1,000x the vintage people. It just is able to climb it and carry it, which is, it's opened my eyes in the last 6 months, all this different modern stuff. So I've made my own plays and different modern things for the first time, and it's here to stay. I think maybe not the Moonbryon and the current price, but I think modern and modern prices.
Yeah, I think it's got a good place in our hobby, and like I mentioned at the top, I enjoy opening modern. I think it's fun to get that dopamine rush and like open up a pack and like pull a sick, like, expensive card. Like, that's fun, and the art is incredible in modern. It generally speaking, in my opinion, there's a lot of variety. Some of the commons and uncommons are incredible. For example, the Magmar in Brilliant Stars, I love that card. But I think it's a dangerous game. And just to bring it back to the Moonbryon in particular, I think that in addition to the natural cycle of it'll go down after this mania speculative bubble situation, I think that Scarlet and Violet's about to come out. There's going to be a new chase card, the next new shiny thing. Before Moonbryon, there was the Hidden Fates Charizard was stonking to the moon, and the Black Label was going for 10K, and like we've seen this before, and just be careful. Like, if you like the card and you can afford it, buy it. Like, I don't want people to think I'm like some guy in his high horse who has only been in the hobby for 2 years telling people what to do and what to buy. But like, I don't know, if you just apply some of the things that you see out in other markets, it's pretty clear what's going on, in my opinion.
Yep, most certainly, man. It's we're gonna be in for a ride, to say the least. Especially in the next 6 months, see how the whole country's doing, and
it's a crazy time, and we're all along for the ride. I do want to ask you though, how did your Gengar character rare play end up turning out? I remember that from your video. How did that end up panning out for you?
So I sent actually I have a Gengar with the Zapdos and my mechanical chaser at PSA right now. So I don't know the grades on it. It was a $50 tier for a $4 card. So just waiting on the results. I know that one will be a PSA 10, but I haven't looked up the sale price on those. I sincerely don't know. There was like no PSA 10 English ones when I sent it that were on eBay. They're all Japanese because the set just came out. So I'm sure it'll do well. Like, I couldn't imagine it selling for under $100 in a PSA 10 if it's not many of them. But I have a stack of them that I bought that I'm not in the 85+% chance of getting a PSA 10 based on a condition. So I really hate English Modern right now because that's atrocious. For all those brand new cards, right? So I'm like, all right, should have just did Japanese because Japanese knows how to print some freaking cards. Yeah, I got them. I just need to throw them away because I'm tired of looking at them now.
Yeah,
Need to
it's
put
hard.
them in a binder and just forget about them because they're pissing me off. But
Yeah,
um,
that print quality is rough.
yeah, I
And
bought
we're
this chart. I bought this too. It's doing similar. I don't know if you can see it.
oh yeah,
The
I just
Leon's
sold.
Charizard.
Yeah, I just sold one of those. I pulled that myself, and I actually sold that the other day, and the guy was trying to give me like bad feedback because I didn't, put it in between two pieces of cardboard. I'm like, dude, this is a $10 card, so just relax. But yeah, so it's a cool card. I love the character rares. Like they are just
Yep.
they add like another something special to I don't know what are they worth $2 to $10 for the high end ones, but they just add because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of supply, but they look like alt arts. They're
Yeah.
beautiful.
They did, yeah.
And I love that they've added those to the sets, and it makes it, if you open up a pack and you get a character rare, it feels like a win too. So another home run, thing that Modern's got going for it.
Yeah, I hope it stays around as long as they've done rainbow cards. Like, as long
Yeah.
as they keep doing this for whatever 4 years, I'd be happy. I don't know what the hell they do after this, how they one up this. It'd be pretty interesting to see, but it's I love the actual rarity they're putting on these cards, like the Moon Beyond 1 in 1,000 packs, 800 packs. Keep doing it. Obviously, make a print version of it so people can play them in decks, but giving that extra chase with the awesome art, rare pull is pretty cool.
Yeah. I love it. I don't want it to make it sound like I think Moonbryon is trash and sell it all. And I'm super
Yeah.
negative about my like I don't feel that way at all. I think
Yeah.
for Moonbryon in particular, that one particular release and card, I think there's some danger in trying to buy a PSA 10 at $1,500. But like I love alt arts. Like
Yeah.
I think they're gorgeous. Like who doesn't? And adding that level of rarity, and they seem special and they're beautiful. And looking forward to maybe getting the Lugia Altar, just checking that one out. I really like that card and just gets you excited. So I think Modern's doing a great job in general.
Hell yeah, man! So I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions here.
All right.
We got a few of them. Now we'll wrap this bad boy up.
All right.
For favorite gen, and you only get 3 seconds to answer the question. Don't be taking freaking forever to answer these questions.
All right.
You got it.
All right.
You got
rapid fire.
Favorite Gen 1 Pokemon.
Favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, Gyarados.
Favorite Gen 2, since you played Gen 2 and Gen 3.
Lugia.
Gen 3?
Gen 3. I don't know if I've got one off the top of my head. I can't think of a favorite off the top of my head.
Kyogre. I picked it for you.
Kyogre, Groudon. Yeah,
yep.
those are solid.
Hey, the legendaries. Rayquaza. Yeah, that's Gen 3. Yeah.
I'm not good with my gens. I'm now that you asked me that, like I must sound like an idiot, but like I don't have a good Gen 1, Gen 2, I got you. And then once we get 3, 4, 5, like I there are Pokemon that I love, but like honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not super familiar with the gens.
I know just Gen 1 through 3 really well. After that, blur. Just blur. I cannot I can't hang. Favorite Chicago restaurant.
Oh man, favorite Chicago restaurant. There's a little French restaurant near where I live called Le Bouchon, and it's a neighborhood, like a amazing French restaurant. And took my fiance there for a lot of dates, and we love it there. It's like this little nook, but they cook incredible food, and it's just like the best ambiance. It's special because it's in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
and good food.
That sounds awesome. When we were in Denver, we went to Giordano's.
Yeah, from Chicago. And
the Chicago pizza in Denver.
Yeah.
Like literally, we couldn't think of any like Denver food. Like, what's Denver food? I've never even heard of like Denver food. So
like you got certain Kansas City, you got barbecue, and Chicago you got the deep dish. Like what is Denver? What I had like a lot of American food in Denver, but that's the Giordano's.
Yeah,
I actually don't love like deep dish. It's like super. No, not. I live in Chicago. You can eat like one piece and then you're
Yeah.
toast. I like to house like 10 pieces of thin crust rather than like 2 pieces of deep dish. So
I got to ask you, what's number one pizza since you're a Chicago guy?
it's I like this place called Home Run Inn. It's in the suburbs. I think there's it's a chain place. That's
Oh, yeah.
probably a terrible answer, and everybody from Chicago is probably going to roast me and say like there's this that's a trash chain or whatever. I just love Home Run Inn pizza.
Yeah,
It's incredible. So there's probably a million like better places, but that's my favorite.
is there more of those than Little Caesars in the area?
Oh
Or is
no,
it-
I think Little Caesars has got to beat, but there's a decent, I don't know, 4 or 5 home
Yeah.
run-ins, 3, 4, but man, it just hits different. There's something about it. It's so good.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Awesome. Yeah, that's all I got for you. You did well. You did well. I answered them quickly. I'm surprised. Usually people will take like 20 seconds thinking of them, so it's cool.
I'm disappointed in myself. I couldn't think of a single Gen 1 like poke. I was just like Gen 3.
Yeah.
I was like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Stumped them.
Stumped
No,
me.
it's all good. All good, man. But I appreciate you coming on. Great finally getting to talk to you a little bit more than what we talked in Denver, even though that was a decent amount. More than I talked to a lot of the people, because most of the people were vending. So
Yeah. I was walking around. I came up to you on you were making a big deal. I don't know if you want to reveal that publicly, but I walked up on a nice big sale that you made and got to hang out with your boys Tim and Rob.
Yep.
His name is Rob, by the
Yep.
way, right? Yeah.
Tim
So
and Rob,
Tim and Rob, cool dudes, hanging out with
short
them.
guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So it was fun to hang out with you.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely do it again. Hope to see you again at one of the Collecticons. If not, I'm only like 4 hours from you, so have to meet up one of the times I'm at my in-laws, go get some lunch or something. So that'd be cool.
100%. Thanks so much for having me on. Really appreciate you inviting on a small YouTuber. Only one video to my name, but I really appreciate you giving us small guys a chance and just having me on. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, man. I think the next guy I have on has zero
Oh,
YouTube content. We were talking via email because he's
okay.
not on Instagram, so that'll be pretty interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I'm here for. Just more. I'm not here stonking out my channel, getting the biggest names all the time or whatever. So I'm here just to talk to other collectors and get other people to know you and help you guys out a little bit. So that's what it's
Yeah.
all about.
I really appreciate it. I just had so much fun. Like I just have like a big smile on my face just talking about like showing you that card that I just bought. Like I never haven't
That's it,
showed
man.
anybody yet. Like just so fun to talk about. So thank you. Thanks. I had a great time, a great conversation, and I really appreciate it. I do.
Oh yeah, man. Go Lions.
Go Lions. Yeah. Let's see how that goes. So
We need a win. No.
yeah.
All right, man.
All right.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. That was awesome.
All
Good
right.
stuff.
Yeah,
I will talk to you
absolutely.
soon.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye, Josh.
All right, man. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.